What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we're going to look at the Alabama multiple playbook in college football 25. This is the Kalen DeBoer offense that he brought with him from Washington. If you remember last year, they made it to the national title game, had a killer offense, had great quarterback play, awesome receivers. Well, EA done a pretty good job of replicating what he likes to do. So what we're going to cover is I'm going to give you a broad perspective of what the playbook is all about, kind of give you some trends and some of the more popular things that are in this playbook. That way you know kind of where to start and you can work your way from that. We're going to look at formations, some concepts, play types, personnel, and then we may break down a few plays towards the end. So let's just start off with formation. This is the most popular place where people like to call plays. And there are three main sets. You got gun, pistol, and single back. There's only one single back formation and only one pistol formation. So honestly, you can ignore these. There's some good stuff in here, don't get me wrong, but the bulk of the playbook is gun. And there are two trends that come with these gun formations. One, there are a lot of twins and trips formations. And two, it's a very 11 personnel heavy playbook. If you are a 4 wide receiver guy, this playbook is not for you. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. So let's just start off with the gun formations and let's just go through some of these. So split twins offset. This is the only 2-back formation in the entire playbook. If you're a 2-back guy, again, do not use this playbook. But then you start off with your 11 personnel. So 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end, normal Y off, 21 plays. It's one of the more popular formations in the playbook in terms of the amount of plays. Then you got normal flex snug, a very oddball formation. You see just a good little stack setup you got here. I don't really want to go through a lot of what's in here, but I just wanted to point out that I don't know yet. Now, on my website, on my College Football 25 site and page, I don't know if there's many teams that have this particular formation. I could be dead wrong. I'm guessing this is an oddball one. So kind of keep that in mind if you want something a little different, but it's still an 11 personnel look. So who is our tight end? It's number 81. Look, 81 is out there. Yes, you can use sub packages, but by default, this is still an 11 personnel formation. Then you got wing trips weak. Notice trips tight end, trips Y over, trips halfback weak, bunch tight end, bunch quads offset. This is a quads look, but it's still trips, quads. It's, still the kind of same thing. F twins over, that's still trips. Slot right weak over. Spread Y slot. We finally got a 2x2 look, but guess what? 81, he's still sitting right there. It's an 11 personnel formation. Spread Y slot weak. And then we get into bunch open offset. Another trips look. Then you got trips halfback weak. Empty tray stack. Empty base trio. And then empty bunch quads. And again, what were the two big trends? A lot of trips and twins, especially through here. And a lot of 11 personnel. The bulk of the 11 personnel was from like here onward. So kind of keep that in mind. Let's talk about personnel really quickly. Again, we just talked about this, but you notice there's just hardly any 2-back looks. There is only 2 12 personnel formations, but again, the bulk of this is your 11 personnel. Anytime you're in a playbook, always go through the personnel, play types, and concepts to kind of get a feel of what we're doing. This is what we're doing right now. When it comes to true 4 wide, again, this is the only one right here, trips halfback weak. So kind of, again, just kind of keep that in mind. So let's talk about concepts and play types real quick. Now, when it comes to concepts, they do a good job of kind of organizing these, but I'll just go ahead and tell you some of it could be misleading. Like if you go to medium pass and you go to like the curl and look at RZ Sluggo on the left. There's nothing curl about that. I don't know if they're thinking that Sluggo route is kind of a curl, like a fake curl. I'm not really sure. And you look at snag, I guess that little hitch curl is enough to call it a curl. Then you look over to Z corner. I don't see any curl there. You kind of get what I'm saying there. Well, technically the tight end got a bit of a curl. Anyway, kind of keep that in mind when you're going through some of these. But I'm going to go over to the run concepts and just give you the most popular stuff that's in here. So when it comes to the run plays, concepts, inside zone, there are 20 inside zones in this playbook. This is your base run concept. This is where I suggest you start, okay? You look through some of these other ones, there are 12 powers. Power, all that is just a pulling guard or somebody's pulling for you. In this case, I think all these are pretty much guard-based pullers. So there you go. So those are your 2 most populars. You got 3 sweeps and you got only 1 true jet sweep. But I suggest you start with inside zone and then you complement that with a little power for your run game. But then from there, you can do it through some RPOs and things of that nature. So speaking of, let's go back over here. Let's go to options. So here are your RPOs. You got only 2 load options, 8 reads, 2 speeds, 9 RPO reads, 4 peaks, and then you got 12 alerts. And alert is technically probably my favorite RPO in the game so far. Like, I really love RPO alert Z out. We can go ahead and call this play right here. So when it comes to like a little alert plays, I always just kind of look. Your first read is your pre-snap read is that outside receiver running that little out route. If that cornerback is off of him, as you can tell, he's like 8 yards off of him, I normally will just throw to him. Otherwise, if I see a too high safety look, as you kind of see here, it's pretty much too high safety. You could just let the running back kind of do his thing. But in this case, I think I just may throw it over here and get an easy 7 yards. You can't ask for anything easier than that. Here, it's a bump and run. Now, they may go cover 2 zone. You never know. But I think it's just safer to just let the running back handle this one. Again, but look at the too high safety look. Bump and run on the right side. Just run it. Do something like this and just pick up your yards if you can. Okay, I love the little alerts. Those are usually my favorite RPOs, at least so far. Then you go to quick passes. Just kind of go and notice through some of these, there's not a lot of quick passing. The most one is there's 7 sticks. So this stick, it's an air raid concept. Everybody's ran it before. If you want to run a little quick game, I suggest you start with some stick. Then you go over to medium pass. This is where it gets, again, a little confusing with curl. There's 14 of them, supposedly. But you keep on going through here. Again, look for your most popular ones and then kind of work from there. 6 slot crosses, 14 smashes. Again, smash to me, it's like a high-low read, more or less. And when I'm looking at Burt's wide delay, I'm not seeing a whole lot of high-low unless they're talking about that inside slot receiver on a crosser with the swing by the halfback. I don't know. To me, that doesn't really scream smash unless they're comboing that crosser with that tight end delay. Either way, there's 14 of those. You got 6 spots, and that is it for the mediums. But look at the number, the count. 56 run, 37 options. You go down here, 87 deep passes. This is where the bulk of the offense comes from. So again, your run game, inside run, then you do your quick base, your powers, and then you do play action off of that. Notice there's a lot of PA reads and PA deep crosses, play action out of the gate here. There are 10 comebacks, 3 daggers, 8 divides, double digs, there's 4 of those, 5 double posts, 7 floods, 28 verticals. Kind of keep that in mind. I guess anytime there is a go route of some sort or anything goes beyond 15 yards, I guess they're calling it a vertical. But there's a reason why there's a bunch of it in here, because that's just what this playbook is all about. Deep shots and such. Only 5 meals, 1 Portland. Shot plays. This goes back to your verticals more or less. But this is a big one. Again, play action off of that inside zone and off of that power. Then there's only 3 switches and there's only 2 wide crosses. You can go to play actions. We've already seen a few of these, and there's just 6 boots and there's 3 slides. Then you go over to your screens. There's 25 screens. You got 15 bubbles, 8 split end screens, and then you got only 2 wide receiver mid screens. So if you're going to get a heavy screen game, you probably want to start here with your swing routes and such by your halfback. This is where I would go right there. All right. And that is it for your concepts, your play types. This is like another way to look at your plays. You got your passes. There's 180 passes, 64 runs. So you click on run, for example. It goes more broader terms, just like inside handoff, 37 of them. Only 6 outside ones. And you got only 3 pitches, 5 counters, only 8 draws, only 1 fullback run. That's from goal line. And there's only 4 design QB runs. So again, inside handoff is kind of the big deal here in the run game. Then you go over to option. Again, just another way to look at it. Not a ton of true option. If you're a read option guy, there's some of it in here, but it's very basic. And again, we've already looked through all of these, but just another perspective. So kind of go back and forth between concept and play type, and you'll find out real quickly what this playbook can really do. All right, so last thing we want to look at, we want to go at a couple formations and a couple plays I want to pay attention to. So normal Y off. So there's 2 things I think Kalen DeBoer does really well. One of them is he likes to do a lot of pre-snap motion, and normal Y off is a good place to start. Now, what did we talk about earlier? Yes, this playbook is very trips heavy, but if you go to this 2x2 look and you go down to a few plays, what do you see? You see some pre-snap motion. This is halfback swing series. Look at spot wheel, motion Y middle screen, motion all curls. You are giving that defense that same look, but what are you doing when you motion that halfback over? You're kind of giving them a trips look, which is what we've been preaching this entire video. So you go over here, like we can go to halfback swing. We can go ahead and select this one. This is where you would start in a basic passing. So again, you got two reads here, pre-snap. On the right side, your Z receiver, in this case, is going to be circle. It's a bump and run. If that corner was like 8 yards off, I would just throw it to him as hard as possible. Otherwise, very simple. I would just go over to my swing and see if you can pick up whatever yards you can. Hopefully you can get good blocking from that. But then from there, you add in that swing curl. So you come over here, you go into that motion all curls. You can go and select that. We'll go up against a random play from here. So again, you can read your corners. Normally in this case, when they're off like that, and it looks like they're either going to cover 3 or cover 1, they may do in a weird shell. But I always like to read the outside receiver on the right side. Nope, I'm not seeing it. I'll just go to my halfback, and I'll just pick up some yards there. Or if you want to just pay attention to one side, you can do that. Just like look on the left side, wide open right there. Boom, easy 20 yards right there. Just a really good play for sure. So again, it's a series-based offense. So what you do is your first play, run halfback screen. Then you may go to another formation. Then you may run like a basic inside zone. Then you may come back to this and you go to motion all curl. So look for that. On top of that, we have more pre-snap motion. This is your jet sweep series. Zone fake jet touch pass. So when you go to touch pass, it's like the easiest play ever in terms of what you got to do. You're just outrunning everybody. Read your blocks like this and just cut up the field and get as many yards as you possibly can. So you're going to call that play. So what do you do 2 or 3 plays down the road? You come over here and then you may want to do the play action off of that. So you go to play action. We'll just go up against nickel. That's fine. So from here, you look at what we got going on here. A lot of it's a high-low read. Oh, and I almost got sacked. But again, this is a one-side read. Let me read it here. Okay, so let's just go. And you can actually throw it back to the jet pass if you needed to. But I'm going to see if I can read somebody over here. Like you can go to this tight end. Maybe he'll catch it. Nope, that's a pick. Either way, just work off of that jet sweep. Do your play action on top of that. And this is the bulk of the offense. You literally just come down here. You throw in your pre-snap motions, and then you throw in your from halfback and you do your jet sweeps with a receiver. And then the other big part of the offense is I think you need to pick at least one of these trips formations, like trips tight end. There's not any pre-snap motion. There's a little bit. Yeah, we got some pre-snap motion. Pick a trips formation and really learn it well. Like trips tight end, I think is pretty good. It's got 21 plays in it. So guess what? Look at there. You got your jet sweep stuff, but then you can do your play action off basic quick base, things of that nature. So you got one, everything's off to one side, so you can read it here. You can go over the top. I think he's going to cap this one. Oh, good defense by the corner. Anyway, you get what I'm saying here. Use your pre-snap motions, sprinkle in your jet sweeps, your halfback swings, and then you can just do basic zone. You don't have to do the pre-snap motion. You can go in here, throw this stuff in, get some yards. A couple plays later, do your play action on top of that. All right, so that's pretty much it for the entire playbook. Hopefully this helped you a little bit. Just take your time, go through this playbook, see what it all has. There's like 250 plays. You're going to have a whole lot of fun with it. But at least now you know what the playbook is all about. It's a lot of 11 personnel. It's a lot of trips and twins looks. It's got a lot of pre-snap motion. It's inside zone. It's quick base. It's power, play action on top of that. And I think you'll have a nice, good, solid playbook to go out in the field and dominate with. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.